Hello everybody. Oh, I've got my camera in the wrong place. It's supposed to be over here. There we go. That's it, there we go. I was cleaning. Right, what are we doing today? That was very confusing, that was. We're trying to do more workflow improvements. What workflow? This one. Yeah. So a couple of days ago we were going through the workflow and we were making sure it worked, and it did, and we came up with a list of improvements to do, not this. This, here we go, the list of improvements. Yeah, and we're basically just cracking on with this. So yesterday afternoon I managed to work on the regular expressions for the substitutions. Right, so on the last stream we did the regular expressions for the part mappings, and we ended up with some code. It wasn't pretty. We had to go around the houses a bit and use dynamic traits and all this kind of thing, but we got there eventually. Where was that? Let's have a look for it. Criteria, not that, this. Yeah, somewhere in here it was. Yeah. Part map build process. Building placements we were doing. Oh wait, where is it? I'll find it eventually. Here we go. Yeah, this bit. This was it. So we had some code in this build part mapping. For building the criteria based on the fields, and we had to put it in boxes and do all this kind of stuff. I fiddled around with that a little bit more, did a bit more refactoring on that, because there was some code that needed to be reused for the substitutions, and we ended up with this value kind for the fields, which is either a regular expression or an exact matching, and then building the value kind is separated from the rest of the code where we had it sort of inlined before. This was this, you know, if it starts and ends with a slash, then it's a regular expression, and then you have to build a regular expression, but the regular expression might fail if there's a problem with the pattern, so it has to be able to return an error, that kind of thing. So this gets used now by the part mapping, and it greatly simplifies the fold that we were doing the other day. And it's also used by, where is it, build value kind, it's also used by the new substitution builder code, which is very similar because they both take like a CSV file and then they have to create criteria or things like that. So now what happens, it's great, this is. We've got our substitution file now and our part mappings file. So if we load up all these, so we've got substitutions which look like this. So now we can use regular expressions in the substitutions, and we can use them in the part mappings like so. And we can use, and they work basically. But the first time I ran it, it basically just went in an infinite loop. I'm like, oh. And the one that caused it to go in an infinite loop was it was this substitution. That substitution basically causes an infinite loop. The reason it caused an infinite loop, it was very clear to me, and I already had put a fix me there. Because I knew that this was going to happen at some point. It's basically when you've replaced the name and the value, you then have to look for more rules to see if more mappings apply, because it's not just like find the first substitution that matches. What actually happens with this is you do one substitution and then you might do another substitution, then you might do another substitution, and there can be a chain of substitutions. So it has to start from the entire list of substitutions again, process all of them again, including the one that it just processed, because it doesn't make a note of the one that it just processed. So there's two ways to fix it. One is either record the substitution rules that you've just used and then don't use them again, or make sure that if you modify it, don't count that as being applied. And that seemed to work. So the substitution thingy. So we've got tests for that now as well. So substitute using a rule that always matches. So there was an issue in this bit of code, so we had to add an if round there, and that all works now. Happy days. So yeah, so that's where we got to. So I guess now it's a question of finding something else on the list and cracking on with it, I suppose. So let's see, what do we feel like doing? Because some of these things we might do them now, and some of them we might do them later, or we might do some refactoring. I don't entirely know. But either way, we're going to improve things. Oh, phase ordering I think needs to be done. And showing the file names of artifacts. So we've got two here. Show these two. Let's do these. Let's move these up here. Let's say doing. Phase ordering. Let's have a crack at that. So, yeah. Phase ordering. What are we talking about? Phase ordering. Yeah. Well, I guess there's a couple of things that we need to do. Is one, let the user choose the ordering, and two, use the ordering that the user has chosen. Yeah, okay. Let's have a crack at it. So why is phase ordering important? Let's have a quick look at the little diagram thingy. So this is the workflow that you use for doing the top and the bottom of a circuit board with multiple processes, right? But there is an order to doing things. So with pick and place machines and reflow ovens and things like this, you often want to do the surface mount things first and then do the through-hole things afterwards. Sometimes you might have to reflow the top of the board before the bottom of the board for various reasons. One such reason is heavy components fall off if you reflow it. If you reflow them again. So if you put heavy components on the bottom of the board, then flip the board over and place the things on the top of the board, and then put the whole assembly with unsoldered parts on the top and soldered parts on the bottom into a reflow oven, it is possible, depending on the weight of those objects, so like transformers for instance, they've got a lot of mass to them, those can be pulled out of the, or just fall off the board when it reflows. Often with the reflow ovens, the heat only comes in from one side, so the other side of the board isn't as hot as the side of the board that needs to be reflowed. But it depends entirely on the board that you're doing, because some boards have a lot of mass, and you need to preheat them a lot of thermal mass that is. Then you need to preheat them a lot before you reflow it. But it depends on the board. Anyway, what this all means is that you need to be able to choose the order of the processes. Order of the phases that you're going to do. So, a little bit of background there. A bit of background to all this is always good for the context. It's like, why are we doing this? Right? Okay, so we've got a phase. We're starting to get quite a lot of files in our project. Look at all these files. We've got loads of them. Look at this. It's not just a 1 or 2 file project anymore, is it? Crikey. Alright, so we've got a reference, a process, a loadout, a phase, and sort orderings. Oh, this is for the placement sort orderings. Might need to rename this. How are we going to do... Yeah, we probably need to fix that sort orderings and call it placement orderings. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, okay. Let's do that. Clean up first. Oh, before we do anything, have we got any uncommitted changes? We do, because KiCad did a thing. Goodbye. Let's make sure we can run all the tests with the default features. There they go. And the CLI features. Kaplop. There we go. All good. That's nice. Okay, so now we can get on to fixing things. So let's go placement, orderings. Where's this used? Yeah, we've got orderings, placement orderings. Let's rename these as well. We've got this phase ordering set. Should probably be placement orderings really. Probably need to clean this up a little bit. Okay, I've got this placement order. Let's rename this as well because it's going to be better. Yeah, that will have broken the help. And that's going to break the indentations, so we're just going to run it and copy and paste it in, because who knows what it's supposed to actually be. I see it line wrapped it, look. I would never have guessed that. There we go. That's what we want, placement orderings. Cool. And this set placement ordering needs to have its argument changed. Oops. Like so. I think that'll probably fix it all. Oh no. What happened here? Oh yeah. Is this in the project? Or the report? This is the project, isn't it? So we need to poke our project builder. We still got to deal with this. It's not pretty, but it works. Placement ordering somewhere there. Oh dear. Oh dear. There we go. Alright, cool. Okay, what do we do? Let's do a commit. Yeah. So, this is in the planner. Clean up placement orderings, naming. Improve. And we're doing that because we're going to have another thing called ordering, and we don't want to have the two things confused, right? Because in here we're about to add like order or ordinal or something like that. Let's do a bit of a dictionary check. I think ordinal is probably the right word. Data within property. It's not quite that, really, is it? What's the best name for something that can have that defines the order in which it is used? That's what I'm trying to come up with. Ordinal is probably it. But I don't know. Alright, we'll commit that. We're good there. So back to the phase. Right. Let's start with the test. So we've got our planner, and I suppose when you add the first phase, maybe it should just say the order is number 1 when you add the first one, right? And then when you add another one, it's number 2, and so on, right? Yeah, probably. Should probably use automatic. So if that's the case, then when we create a phase, we need to assert that the project has got like a number in it somewhere. And I suppose let's put it there. 1. I mean, should it be 0? Right. Is this what we're looking for a human? No. 0 then. Right. Conversion for humans, put 1 on the end. The first one. Right, so with phases. Can't be negative, so it's going to be a U size. Probably. Yes, and we know it's not pretty. We'll call it ordinal. If we come up with a better name, we can use it. It's not a problem. Well, what is this going to be now? This is probably going to be like number. Now, what does number take? It takes a number. Can we do that? No. Oh yeah, look, there's a from. There's a from method. There we go. Yeah. Let's have a look. What is this? What's it all about? Arbitrary precision. Alright, fine. Okay, let's run the tests. Okay, let's not run the tests. Why has it got a reference to a U size? Star ordinal. Okay. And our test has only got, oh, it's supposed to be 0. Yeah. Okay, how about now? So obviously we haven't changed the production code, so we should see the difference. Ta-da! There we go. All right. So we're going to say pub ordinal view size. Right. Now how do we set it? What happens now? Well, we need an ordinal update phase. So create phase can take an ordinal. Well, I mean, it might be that you wanted to create the second one first, which would be a little bit weird, granted, but let's make it happen. Create a phase. Let's allow them to specify the ordinal. Why not? Yeah, we can't compile and run everything until we fix this. Now we could say create phase and yada. And I suppose what we're going to need to do is validate that this ordinal isn't used by something else. So let's make a note of that. Right. Now, should we do human to machine conversion somewhere? Or are we even doing this the right way? Let's think about this. Maybe we're doing it all wrong. Maybe the project should just list the phase references in the order that it wants them to appear in. That's actually probably going to be easier, because then we're just going to deal with a list with a vector of strings, and we don't need. Yeah, let's not do this. Because I don't really want to think about like numbering and converting from zero-based numbers to whatever. No, I'm not doing it. No, go away. No. Should we just revert everything? Yeah, let's revert everything. I don't think I've got anything useful here. Come up with a better way. I don't like it. Yeah, let's just roll back everything. Roll back. It's fine. Don't like it. Right, do it again. What's the better idea then? So, in the project, right, the project has got this stuff. It's got project, it's got processes, it's got phases, and so on. So if we were to say, I'm just going to see what this looks like before I write some tests for it. Because I'm not sure what commands I want to do this. But if we said we've got phase orderings, phase orderings, phase order. Let's go with orderings because we used it somewhere else. And this is going to be Well, I want to have something that prevents the same one being added in again. When you have that, you normally use the hash map, but hash maps don't have ordering, so we need to use a B tree set of strings for the names for the references of the phases. So if we add that, then we can have a command to set the orderings in one go, right? Change the order, and all the validation, everything's done in one place. And then when you want to run your project or create your project report, you iterate over the phase orderings in order to produce the report, right? I suppose. Yeah. All right, let's go with that. Let's go with that and see how that works out. I think it's going to work better. Right. So B tree map, B tree set. How are we going to do these? It's probably going to be a vector of something rather than. Is it going to? Yeah. Okay, let's see what happens if we try and compile it like that. Why can't it do that? Do we even need this? We might not need it. Okay. Let's see what happens. Okay, everything still passes. This is good. So we've got this set placement ordering. So if we had another command, which is like this, but for setting the phase ordering, right? It's going to be much simpler, I think. Imagine you've got like a GUI and you presented the user with a list of things in a GUI, which is the list of phase names. And then you've got arrows to allow you to move them up and down, or you can drag drop them or something like this, right? Then at the end of that, you click OK. And then you've got your new ordering and you just go, there you go, new ordering, save, done. I think it's going to be simpler. Okay, all right. So I guess the project doesn't have any phase ordering until you set it. Right. There's a couple of places where this can go wrong though, isn't there? So when we're generating our artifacts, let's look at the artifacts that we generate. When we generate our artifacts, it's not clear on this because we've only got one phase, right? Top one. And arguably, we might need to want another phase to this project. So that we can test that we're setting the orderings and generating the port properly, right? So I guess if our set phase orderings test first created another phase and then set the orderings, that would be sufficient, wouldn't it? And we don't need to assign any parts or anything like that to the phases yet, but probably be okay. All right, let's do that. Right, but what are we going to need to change? Let's have a look. Let's we've got this report, and this is where we generate it. We've got phase specifications, and this is where we iterate over the phases. So this bit is going to need to change because we're going to need to iterate over the phase orderings, and then from the phase ordering get the phase from the project. Yeah, it's probably fine. I suppose we could simply just sort. Can we sort? What is phases? It's a B tree map. Can you sort a B tree map? You must be able to, right? Because the hash set you can't sort. Yeah. Sorted map, yeah. So I suppose if we sort it by something before we iterate over it, that should probably do it, right? I suppose. Let's add that code now because it shouldn't break anything. But no, I don't think that's the right way of doing it. No, let's create our test. That's the wrong way of doing it. Because otherwise, what are you doing? You need something to focus you. Right. So we've got this generate artifacts thing. Let's steal this one. Well, actually, I want to steal this one. Create phase. Let's create a second phase here. Okay, let's see what we can do. So this is going to be, let's say it's a manual, yeah. Same things with phases. So this is what we're going to see. So we're going to have another phase now. It's going to be bottom. Manual phase 2, and we're going to do the bottom of the PCB, so much more of a real world scenario. Let's move J1 to the bottom as well. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to need a few more things. And some commas. There we go. Assign variant to unit. Right. So we're going to say that J1 is on the bottom as well. Right. Right. So we've got to change the other sequence numbers. Not very exciting change the sequence numbers, it's got to be said. It'd be nice if there was a way to sort of come up with a sequence context thing for this automatically, like some macro or something. But there's not yet, so we have to do this. Okay, let's just run this and see where we're at. Oh. We missed one. Let's run it again. So we've got to go back through and fix these a bit. I'm guessing where the problems are, rather than actually looking. Oh, I might have to look for this one. Old. Another one there. Okay, that fixed that one. Creating a phase. Create the second phase, right. So, right, yeah, we need to change the arguments probably here. Set the loadout for it. Create a second phase. Not quite. Right, what's the deal? What's the problem? Ah, yeah. Processes, PnP. Okay, create a second phase. What's next? What's the problem now? Okay, so the ordering of the phases in the project file is not entirely what you'd expect if you added them sort of like we did, because they get sorted. So this project phases property when it inserted it, it used the natural order. Because all of the things that we put in here have to support ord. And we're ordering them by the reference. So that's what it uses by default. So in our test, we need to move these around like this. And then it passes. Yay. But for the other phases, we now need to add them in here. So it's a bit different because we've got this extra bit here now. The rest is the same, right? Top 1, PnP, context phase 1, top. Yeah. With phases. Yeah, something like that. Okay, we've got one of those that we need to fix. Oh, it's a bit tedious this, isn't it? So J1 we said, bottom. Okay. Get in there. Okay. Artifacts. Yes, that's correct. Why is this failing? Oh, because in the project report there's now two phases. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, that's fine. With phases, yeah, here we go. So here we're going to have... Right, but I don't want to put bottom first here. I want to put it like this. But we haven't run our command yet. So let's get it all working with the second phase in, and then add the command to fix it. Yes, it's probably better. Test phase specification. Right. So we need another one of these, but it's going to have no loadout assignments, and it's going to be bottom 1. And you need to prepare some PCBs. You've got to put the panel in it, and that's the design variant that it's using. Okay, all right. But they're probably in the wrong order. This second phase specification. So let's move it up. Like so. Does it pass? It does pass, right. Chord placement operations. Okay, let's see how this is different. It's probably like J1 being again. Yeah, look, it is. That's fine. Bottom. Okay, everything passes again. Great. We've got our second phase. Shall we say where we create a phase? Create phase top like this, and create phase bottom. Might be a little bit clearer. Yeah. Okay. Let's see if we can do a commit. Should be able to, right? All of that stuff, yeah. Did we change any production code? We don't need. Well, we've got this phase ordering, so we don't serialize it. Let's just temporarily delete this from here and run all the tests again. Oops, oh dear. And we're gonna make sure everything works without those. Right, it does work fine. So the only thing that's different in here now is comma. So we're just doing it. We're just committing the tests. So add a second phase in tests. Or create so we're going to undo those deletions. Then we're going to go back to the tests and then fix up the test to say what we actually want. So, in the project report, in generate artifacts, this report here, we want to do the top first. And thus, this should be listed before the other one. Like so. That's what we want to happen. Right. Let's just verify how it failed. Give it a quick eyeball. And that's basically what we're looking for. Switched over. Right, that's what we're trying to do. Okay, so now that we know what we're trying to do, let's do it. But right. So interestingly, we don't actually need another command to make this work. Because when we created these tests, we created the top one first and we created the bottom one second. So at the time we create a phase, if we just add the name of the phase to the phase orderings, that should be sufficient until you need to change that ordering. Right, so let's make that happen. So I guess in our planner, where we create a phase, right, so this is where it creates a phase. So, aha. So if we went self.phaseorderings.put push. Is there a push on this? Append. Okay, let's look at this phase orderings again. Now we said a B tree set. We kind of want to use a set because we don't want to have to write the code that says, is this already here? Yes. Okay, don't insert it. We just want it to be a set that you can't screw up. But it might be that index map thing might be better because it's just gonna sort it by string again, isn't it? Right, when we try and insert the first one, and then when we try and insert the second one, it's going to have the same problem that we're trying to fix in the other place. And we don't really know the ordering of the items in the set, so we can't say add it to the end of it. I mean, can we? It feels a bit weird that there's not like because you've got insert, and it inserts it. But they're ordered. And the ordering is based on the key, essentially. But that's not really what we want. We want. I think we're actually going to need this index map at this point, aren't we? Let's try it. Come on then. Come on then. Let's try it. Project. Let's go with index map. Well. Yeah, I know. Yes. Let me just comment that out for a moment. I don't know why it won't let me import it using Alt-Enter. Somewhere around here? Probably need to reorder these. Yeah, we'll reorder them all at the same time. Right, so index map, what does it take? Can we have an index set? Does it exist? Oh, it does. That's good. Okay, let's have a look at it. Is this what we want? I think it is. A hash set where the order of the values is independent of the hash values. That's what we want. Hash set, but also has a consistent order, which is determined by the sequence of insertion and removal calls, which is what we want. Okay. Yes, there's some issues about when you remove something from the set, blah 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 blah, but we're not too fussed about that right now. Why is it complaining? Let's press build. Right. So, how are we supposed to serialize it? Can we serialize it as a vec? It's a fair question. Oh, So basically what we're saying is that we want to convert the strings, we want to convert the index set into a vector for serializing purposes, right? And then when it loads the file again, when it deserializes it, the insertion order will be preserved from the order that it serialized them in. So that sort of feels like what we want. But I think we might need to do some magic. So let's go surday as index set. Yeah, I don't want that. Is this a different index map? Yeah. No, that's the right one. Right. So, is there like a surday feature or something for this? Yeah. Features. Okay. Test surday. Let's have a look at this. Features surday, but I couldn't see surday in the list of features here. Where is it? Features? Where's surday listed? I thought you had to. The features thing in cargo is a bit weird because if you specify dependency, the name of a dependency doubles as a feature. It's one of the things I don't like about cargo. Anyway, so there's an example. So let's quickly look at the example again. I mean, this is index map, not index set. But there's no surday derive test for index set. Of course there's not. Okay. Just going to do something stupid here, just to see what happens. Yeah, okay, fine. Just going to try a couple of these just to see if like we can magically make it work. No. Can you not do... This is probably dumb, but... No. Okay, so we'll skip that. Does this even exist? Oops. It's probably wrong. Let's fix the dependencies. Features is survey. Wait for it to sync. Right, it's gone. Let's see what it does. Yeah, but found index set. Should this be set here? Who knows? Oh, I suppose we're going to have to look at the source of this index map thing, aren't we? There's a survey sequence. So there's no support for it. So how are you supposed to do it? Someone else must do this. Survey index set derive. Well, okay, maybe we need to look at this a bit more after all. Takes an index set, yeah. How do you use it? Not sure how you're supposed to use this. What's this Serde transcode? I mean, I'm not serializing it by hand. I'm using Serde derive for it. What are you supposed to do? Wait, do we need to do anything? No. Okay, maybe it just works as it is. Fine. Okay. That was funny. Ah, dear. Right. Because I thought we needed to use something like that because we needed to do it for the B-tree maps, right? So, yeah. Okay, fine. Well, yes. So how is this failing now? Let's just have a quick look, because I've forgotten what we were trying to get up to. Right. So it's still failing because everything's in the wrong order in the project report. Right. But when we create the project now, we've got this phase orderings and where we create a phase. Here we are. This is where we're trying to get to. We want to push. Is there a push on this? No. What does insert do on an index set? Insert a value into the index set. But where does it put it? At the beginning or the end or what? What happens if you do two inserts? Right, I just want to put it on the end. I can append one set to another, but that's not quite what I'm after. Let's have a look. Insert. I kind of want to just do a quick test to see if you do two inserts and then pull things off it to see what order you get them in, you know, or just iterate over it to see what order they're supposed to be in, because it's not clear to me yet whether insert something at the beginning or the end or somewhere else. Because it says insert value into the set. You're like, sure, it inserts it into the set. Great. If an item already exists, well, it doesn't exist, right? In both cases, if I'm adding it to the start of the list or the end of this, it doesn't matter. So if the item already exists, we don't care. Otherwise, it inserts the new item and returns true. But where does it insert it? Where does it insert it? Inserts into the set and gets the index. It feels like we're going to need to write a little test. Right. Okay. So let's just write a little test. Sure. Right. because it's not clear. Pub insert. Oh, fun insert. Right. So what are we going to do? We're going to create a map. Oh, I suppose it's a set, sorry. Index set. We're using index map to do it. I named the file right. Oh, but it's called index map. Index set, fine. New. Okay, whatever. Then we're going to go index map dot insert. And we're going to insert let's use the real world examples. Not sure what I did there. And then we're going to assert. I mean, what are we going to assert? Let's just iterate over it because that's what I'm interested in. Let's say let mut iteration. Yeah, I suppose. And we're going to make this a vector of strings. Then we're going to map the entry, and we're going to well, we're not really going to do anything, really, are we? We can just collect it, right? And then I suppose we want a vector of strings. Right? That's what we want. What happens? Well, we've got some code that we need to comment out, but anyway. A vector of type value cannot be O string index. Okay, so we are going to map it. Because we have to clone it. Do we just go cloned? Is that what you do? Yeah, it is. So it does indeed appear to preserve the order when you insert things like that. So the second one gets pushed to the end of it, inserted into it, but it's not clear though, is it, from the documentation? Or is it just me? It doesn't say. And we've got this insert and get its index, right? So I'm also curious to know what happens if we record the indexes as we add things to the list. In a vector of probably U sizes. just push the result of this insert full thing. Because it gives us two things back. And I suppose, what does index give you back? Oh, oops, daisy. Hold on. Insert full. It gives you a U-size ball. The other way around. Close. That's better. So then we're going to expect that it's 0 and true and 1 and true, perhaps? Oh, insert full. Hey, it works. I did just have a thought though about this set thing. Like, do they have tests for insert? Oh, they do. So I suppose we could have read their tests in addition to the documentation. Normally I prefer to rely on the documentation before delving into the unit tests, in order to learn like some library or something, right? And like doc tests are useful for that. I hate tests like this. It works. Sure, but what's it testing? I don't know. It's not how I like writing tests. Okay, fine. Moving on. So that is apparently how that is supposed to work. Now that we know this, do we want to keep this file? That's what I'm thinking. I think this is one of these weird cases where you might create like a branch and a commit and stick it in a branch just by itself. Oh dear. There we go. Oh, I suppose. Tests for index map. Insert to verify. Insert and iteration order. Something like that. Alright. Oh. The ID did weird things. Okay, now it's not there. No, fine. Okay, so now we've established that that is how that index thing works. We can go ahead and actually try using it. So yeah, so we can finally just insert the reference into the phase orderings, but we probably need a clone of it. Is it, which one is the problem? Oh, well, okay. Should this really be reference here? Right. That's what I thought. No, it's probably better here, isn't it? Yeah, what's it going to do now? Oops, and daisy. Let's run all the tests. Yeah. Right, so we don't do that, but I think we have to... Oh no, it might be okay. Oh, well, that was surprising. Okay, good. So now, in the project file, it's going to be complaining after we create a phase that the phase orderings has got this in it. So we need to add this assertion. And I suppose, where did it go? Where did it go? It went after the placements. Is that where we want it though? Phases. We've got phases and then placements. Let's move it up one. Right. So we need to create a JSON array. So we've got with phases. Here we go. And then we're going to go with phase orderings. And this is going to be top one. That's been the first one, right? And then on the next one, where we create the bottom one, we're going to say with phase orderings, top one, bottom one. But these are still going to be in this order. This is important. Right, but this with phase orderings thing doesn't exist yet. So we're going to do something like this. And it's going to be a reference to a list of strings. And now that we've set the type, it should be able to do it, but it doesn't. I don't know why it doesn't do it there. A reference with the lifetime of A to an array of string references with a lifetime of A. A slice of those. Yeah, something like that. Phase orderings. Oh, that's why I didn't do it. And this is supposed to have a... Right. But it'll still fail because nothing's using this yet. Right. So this is where we need to deal with it. Somewhere around here. If let some phase ordering is self phase orderings, then do some stuff. Well, values is going to be a vec of value, which we're going to build by iterating over the phase orderings. And we're going to map them one at a time to a value, which is going to be a string, which is going to be built from the phase ordering to string, converted to a string. Something like that. Ah, oh, we got it right. Oh, amazing. Happy days. Okay, that's good. So we've got this phase ordering, so we need to specify this on the remaining tests that also use the project. With phases, here it is. That's going to be wrong. Right, so we should just have one failing test now, I think. Yeah. Okay. Now this is failing because the order isn't what we expect, I think. Right, so we still haven't fixed this, but at least we've recorded the ordering. So now we can use this ordering to fix this. Okay, so we've got our report and we've got the phases. Right, so instead of iterating over the phases, right, if we iterate over the phase orderings and then pull the phase out from the project by its reference, which is the key to the phase in the project, then we should be good. Okay, so we can poke this. So if we go phase orderings, now we don't get a phase here, right? We just get the reference. So now we need to get the phase from somewhere. So we can go let phase is project.phases.get by the reference, right? And we know it's going to exist. So this is one of those cases where we can just go unwrap because we know it's going to exist in there. If it doesn't exist in there, the project file is corrupt. It might pass. No. Okay, what happened? Ah, there's two bits that we need to change. That's one bit that we need to change, but there's two things we need to change. Let's look at what happened though. Right. So the phase specifications came out properly, but the phase overview, we need to reorder them as well. So it's basically going to be the same way. So we've got phase specifications. Where's the phase overview? Phase overview, here we go. So, yeah. Phase orderings. Now I know the phase overview is currently only using the phase reference and we've already got it, but I'm just going to do it like that for now because there's probably going to be other things that we need to put in the phase overview when we're finished, by the time we're finished. Like this phase overview just contains the phase name at the moment, but it's going to contain more, like the process. Should we put the process in here? Yeah, go on, let's put the process in here now. Just so that we've got a reason to keep this code around. Process. Okay. That means we're going to need to update the test a little bit. So, report content, phase overview is going to have all things in it as well. It's going to have the process. Right, and the bottom is going to be manual. Okay. How about now? Pass or fail? Hey! Done. Done. It works. Everything's fine. Cool. We can't reorder these at the moment. You know, just for now, create them in the order that you want to do them, and that's fine. You know, it's a workflow improvement that we can do at a later date. How about we, so that we don't forget the fact that we can't reorder these things, how about we go into the planner and we make a note somewhere around here. Well, maybe not. Hold on. Maybe here. Future. Consider adding a command to allow the phase ordering to be set or changed. There you go. And then I guess we can say currently phase ordering is set by set is determined by the natural order of adding is determined by the order of phase creation. There. Yeah, alright, that seems pretty good. So we used index map with Surde, great. Yeah. Oh, and it bumped it up, that's good. What happened down here? Cool, so we already had index map as a dependency, so that's good. So we got some phase orderings, let's review this. We got the phase orderings, this is good. Well, we did two things here. So we're process. Wow. What do we do? It's sort of in the generate artifacts thing, really. We've got two things. One is create phase orderings, and the other one is report them, I suppose. Update project report to list phases in the order they were created in. Add phase ordering to the project. I suppose this is the more important thing, and the other thing sort of happened as because we then had it. Yeah. So, yeah, that's all okay. Phase orderings in the project builder, that's all good, I'm sure. That worked first time, that was good. Need a bit of white space here. We added process to the phase overview as well. Added process to the phase overview in the report. Okay. Yep. Let's start from the top and go down. So we've got our little future thing to do. Yeah, and it turned out we didn't need anything fancy there. That was good. That actually worked out all right. Okay. Is there anything else to do? We could improve this a little bit by telling the user what the phase ordering is when they create a phase, and therefore it would be apparent to the user when they add a phase that this extra thing was happening. Let's do that as a separate commit though. But I think that'll be useful, because at the moment the user doesn't know anything about this, right? But if we added a message, then they would know it because they saw the message. Yeah. Okay, so we've got that. Phase orderings. So that was all okay. This was all okay. We need a hash for the reference, so that's fine. And then we create the report and phase specifications based on the phase ordering. Right. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Okay, so let's do that thing that I just said, which was when you create a phase, tell the user. So created phase, and then if we say phase ordering and it's going to be top 1 like this. Right, and then when we create the next phase, it's going to say something similar. And then the user will know. So something like info If we just dump out the list, does it work, do we think? Can we do that? Doesn't implement display. I mean, it's true. What happens if you do this? Phase ordering. Yeah, it's sort of like this. This isn't sort of what I wanted. Okay, so we're going to do it manually. So we've got to iterate over the phase orderings. And then we're going to map them with toString. Is this how you do this? And then join them with single quotes, comma, single quotes, and then put single quotes here, maybe? Do we need to collect and then join? Maybe? Into a vector of string references? Oh no, strings, because we said toString. What about now? Phase ordering. Created phase, reference top one, process PnP. Oh, it's because it's got the loadout source here. Should we add that to this? I think we should add it to this. No. That's the bit that we're interested in. I think it was a step too far doing that. Okay, it works. Cool. Alright, so now people know what the phase ordering is. Great. Let's do a commit. Display phase ordering when adding a phase. Yeah. And then in order to do that, we simply added one line of code there. Magic. Now these little bits of code that are like this, right? That kind of stuff feels like it should be in some little utility method somewhere. Let's do the commit. This bit. I mean, should we be creating a structure called phase orderings, or just an associated method for phases? Let's move this out of it. I don't like it because we've got this phase in the planning thing, right? Let's go struct phase orderings with an S, and then go pub fun let's think about this. So if we had a reference to this, like this, if we have one of these structures, like I'm not sure. What we should do here, really. Because there's a couple of things we could do. We could create this sort of thing, this phase ordering things, and then use phase orderings here, right? Maybe. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Go on then. Phase orderings. Let's go. So we're just going to have to delegate to this thing. It's like, yeah, we're going to make a phase orderings and it's going to have display on it, right? That's all we want to do. It just might be a bit too far. I'm gonna back out of doing that. We're going to say phase orderings is going to have a reference to an index set. And then we're going to go impl display for phase orderings. Thus. And then we're going to go write, using the formatter, the thing that we had here. Maybe that's enough. Oh yeah. Okay, so we're going to iterate over it. We get strings. I don't know whether that is entirely right. It's never constructed. So if we then said phase orderings, oh, this needs to be public. Then we have a reference to it here. that's interesting. Well, does this need to be public then? Right, then anybody else who wants to display the phase orderings can do it the same way. I don't know quite why there's a bracket there. Where did that come from? There we go. Okay, so we just moved that little snippet of code into like some random little phase orderings little thing. Right, happy days. Why not? Seems alright to me. Okay, fine. What did we do? So we refactored phase orderings display code into a phase ordering thing. Refactor phase ordering. Refactor display of phase orderings into a struct that implements display. Alright, off we go. What's next? Running in all the tests, that's what's next. Both with and without the normal features that we expect to use. Right, good. Okay. How is everybody today? Enjoying the stream? Learning stuff? I don't know, maybe. Say hi in the chat. Don't forget to say hi in the chat. Don't forget to press the little like button somewhere down the bottom. If it's any use or mildly entertaining or anything else. Right, we're pushing things. Look at all the things we've done today. This is great. Look, getting loads of stuff done. All right. Okay. Now, do I have? No. No. Damn it. No. I was hoping that I had the commands that I was using yesterday in my history, but I restarted my machine. And my persistent history is not working like it's supposed to be. Right. So what we did though was we created a .md file. I'm just going to quickly run this again. Yep. So this is the assembly variant creation process, still working with all the substitutions that we talked about earlier at the beginning of the stream. So everything there is working like it's supposed to with the regular expressions now. And I went through and I deleted and updated all the substitutions and part mappings so that wherever there was like ones with double quotes in the patterns, they now, oh, I missed one, have regular expressions. Let's rerun that, make sure it's happy. Yep, cool. Right. Let me see if I can find the persistent history for the things that I was doing the other day. Bear with me a moment. Let's have a look. Oh, it might be there. Yeah, okay. So we've got the history there. This is good. Okay, good. I'll show you what I'm looking at. Here we go. Right, so this is all the commands that we were doing. Ooh, it's struggling. OBS is struggling a bit there. That was weird. Yeah, these are all the commands that we were running the other day. And I want to just run the generate artifacts command again, and I kind of want to pull all these commands out here and sort of list them out. Let's do that. Let's do that so that it's a bit clearer what we actually are doing and we can repeat the process. Project commands. This is how we used what we've been doing. Why has it done that? So the first thing to do was to create a project, and this is the one that we used to do it. Oops, amazing. Is that working? Does it copy it to the clipboard? Oh God. I hate Vim, I really do. Is it set pace to use to disable this stupid visual mode? Who knows? I just want to copy this to my clipboard with the right mouse button. Not that one, this one. But what does it do? What's it doing? How do you turn this stupid visual mode off? Okay, Vim disable. It might be that I only think it's stupid because I don't know how to use it. It just gets in the way and annoys me. But there we are. I'm not sure if the stream's working properly right now. Let me know if it's. Let's just move this over here because it's saying it's going a bit funny. Okay, let me know if you've got problems with the stream or not. Hi, Dartman. Set mouses. Set mouse minus equals A. What? Does that disable it? Yes. Finally. Righto. So, creating a project we did with that one. Then we added a PCB. Oh, not like that. Not like that either. Like that. Then we assign a variant to the unit. Variant builder. Oh, I suppose we'll just project. Then what do we do? Assign a variable to the unit, then we create a phase and specify the loadout file. forgot what I just said. What did we do? What did we do? We create a phase, yeah. Create a phase, process manual, yada yada yada, and then we assign some placements to a phase. And then that didn't work. Oh no, yes it does work. Assign the placements to phase, yeah. Well, we actually created the top and the bottom, because we've got create a phase here, and then we've got create a phase here, right? And it doesn't really matter the order of these ones that we did. And then we also assigned placements to the phase for the bottom. Right, perfect. Then what do we do? Then we tried to assign some feeders to loadouts, but that did not go as well, and we had to make some changes. This is what we wanted to do, but it didn't initially work until we changed it. But the last one that did work was this one. Yeah. And I think we did it for the top and the bottom. Yeah. No, not that one. Desk phase, so top. Right. And we also set some placement ordering. Which was this one. Okay, and then we generated some artifacts, which was this one. Artifacts. Yeah, the way this prompt thing appears like straight away, I'm not sure that's a good idea. I think you should have to press like Control Space or something to make it appear, right? Like that. I don't know whether there's a way of disabling that by default, because what ends up happening is I press return and it does something I don't want it to do. Like the default should be don't screw up, don't do the wrong thing. Right. And then we tried to record placements operations, but we were doing it with reference designators originally, which was wrong. So what we were supposed to be doing is record placement operations like this with object paths. Like that. Operation placed. Oh yeah. There was a typo on that one. That's better. Let's just... Yeah. Yeah, we're good. So if we run that last one again, it should say, yeah, place flag already set. So yeah, we cleaned all that up. Cool. So we should be able to run the generate artifacts one again now for that. There we go. Amazing. Cool. So now if we look at this, we should see the project report, which is this one, right? Oh. Right. Houston, we have a problem. What happened to that? Hold on. Is it because... I wasn't expecting that to be empty like that. It's big. Who knows why it doesn't work? I know why it doesn't work. Who's paying attention to why it doesn't work? Answers in the chat. Answers in the chat. Why doesn't it work? What did we just do today? We added the phase orderings, didn't we? And of course, this doesn't have any notion of phase ordering. So when it generates the report, it iterates over the phase orderings, which has nothing in it. Normally this wouldn't be a problem. We've got phases somewhere. Here. So we need to create in our project, and we have to do this manually. But normally, if you'd run the sequence of commands with a code as it is now, it would do this for you. But we ran it yesterday, and the code didn't exist. Phase orderings, and it's a top and a bottom. And it's JSON, so you don't put a comma. So let's regenerate the artifacts again, and then let's check that report again now. Which is 12k now, so that probably fixed it. Yeah, there we go, look. And we've got our process in here now as well. So yeah, that's going good. That's great. And if we load out assignments, this is no issues whatsoever, because we're good little assembly nerds. And yeah. So yeah, overall status is one of the things that I sort of would like to do at some point. But let's go back to our list. Phase ordering, done. There we go. It got done. Amazing. Yeah, phase ordering, done. What's on the list? Oh, it might be time for a bit of a break. 2 hours we've been going so far. Is there anything we can do real quick here? Yeah, I'm not sure. Alright, I think what I'll do is I'll probably go through this list and then decide if there's anything on there I want to sort out today, and then work out where we're going. There are things we can improve. I think that was the main one that I need to do, like fix the workflow, to make sure the workflow is right. Show phase status. This one I wouldn't mind having a crack at this. Show phase status in report, because at the moment you've got this report and you're like, is it done? Did I finish doing it? And it's not very easy to see that and it's certainly not easy to get an overview of it. And the whole point of this, where is it, phase overview bit in this report, right? Phase overview. The whole point of this bit being near the top is like you open up your report and where you are, and it should show you top green done, right? But it can't do that unless it's got the information to work out how to display the report, and it doesn't have the information in here. It would have to iterate over all the placements to find out whether they've all been placed. But we want to be doing that in code and then putting it in this phase overview block here. So we might have a go at doing that, because I think that would be pretty useful. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we sort of need, whether we need it. Because the reason I'm thinking about this is because we've got this sort of run phase, record which placements have been placed, check status, and then when we came up with, it keeps opening the wrong file. We came up with the job workflow steps, and one of these things was like mid-job status. Right, so we can work out which components have not been placed yet, but we don't really have sort of like an overview of the status. I probably need to go through this and see if there's anything else on here we've not implemented yet, but I think we've got a lot of these things. We've got a lot of these things. The tool is looking fairly sort of polished at the moment. It seems to be pretty good. There's obviously some features that are missing, like being able to delete a phase, for instance, you know, stuff like that, or rename a phase, and things like that. But we don't need these yet. We don't need these yet. I mean, it's not the end of the world to, for instance, to just rerun the commands again with different names on it if you wanted to for now, or to go into the project file and do a search and replace on the name. It's not like the end of the world right now. You can certainly work around it. But yeah, so this is how it's working at the moment. So we've got a variant builder. You run the variant builder after exporting and creating, after exporting the placements and creating your list of parts, substitutions, and part mappings and so on. You run the variant builder. Then you create a project, add PCB to it, assign a variant to it, and then it picks up the placements. Create the phases, add the placements to the phases, assign feeders to all the parts, set the placement ordering, generate the artifacts, and then off you go. You place components as per the report, and then record the placement operations. And the placement files that you've got are on the list of parts that you have are in the loadout files that it generates. So we've got two loadouts. So if I'm placing the top of the PCB, I've got all these. If I'm placing the bottom of the PCB, I've got all these. And from there, though, it doesn't say how many of each that you need, but the report contains that. So if we look in the parts, somewhere we had a quantity, didn't we? Where did we have this quantity? I can't remember where it was now. It's not in there. What do we do with the quantity? Oh, it's in the placements file, I think. Is it? No? No. Somewhere we had a quantity, didn't we? I think we had a quantity. I remember writing the code for it. Where did we... It's in the report somewhere. Phase loadout assignment items. Yeah, Yeah, there. It's in the loadout assignments for the phase. So that's how many of those, each of those things that you need to get. It obviously doesn't belong in these files because these are just to describe what's supposed to be in your machine or for this given operation that you're doing. These are what were used and where they were. And then you could use the same loadout again to reload the machine, for instance, or build the same circuit board again, or you could use that as the basis for a new assembly variant where you use the parts that are already in the machine, for instance. That's what these files exist for. They've got nothing to do with the quantity for the variant that you're building. Yeah. So yeah, there's lots of files that it creates, isn't there? So yeah, we start with this and our yeah, that's what we started with, our original placements file. And I guess the next thing would be the panelization stuff as well. That's got to come up soon. Yeah. Maybe we'll get on to panelization next week. That's going to be a very useful thing to sort out at this stage. We're going to need to do that. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's leave it there. Hope everyone's enjoying all this so far. I'm quite happy with the progress of all this. It's coming along quite nicely. We've got a nice little tool that we can use now to do the workflow, which is great. It's pretty nice. I don't know whether it's currently better than my previous tool or not yet. My other tool had some other interesting things that it did, but they were more specific for the Charm High machine. But yeah, I might have a look at my other tool, the PnP convert tool, and decide whether I've got the same feature set that I needed from that on a day-to-day basis that I was using, and see if I've captured all the things that tool did in this. That would probably be a useful thing to do. I guess we also are going to need to think about sort of like the post-job tasks that need to happen. And some of the post-job tasks, for instance, are like recording how many components were used in the job, and then updating stock levels and things like that. But we don't currently have any sort of like stock level or inventory system built yet, so it might be a little bit premature to do post-job things at the moment. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. And the other thing that we've not really got is the pick and place machine sort of system or code or anything yet. So we haven't got a way of feeding back changes to the placements file, and feeding them back into the project, for instance. But that'll come when we start doing the pick and place machine side of things. Yeah, that's all gonna be different. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, just remember, folks, it's only software. How hard can it be? We'll find out on the next one. See you later. Bye.